Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media, and today I get to interview Jamil Hasan. He is a former multinational technology manager for Fortune 100 companies. Now he's in the Bitcoin and blockchain consultant, who has started his own practice to help build crypto ecosystems in his community. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Jamil Hasan to the show. Hi, Jamil. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Alicia. Thank you very much for having me today.
I'm excited about this interview. So, tell me, what exactly do you do?
Yeah, I have a Bitcoin blockchain consulting practice, and based out of Connecticut. I focus on two areas of ICOs, which is the pre-ICO and the post-ICO. I have a number of offerings for both. For the pre-ICO, I look at the project's white papers, the project scope documents that the inventors provide to me. I provide coaching and consulting to them. I also look at do an analysis of the distribution channels, not just the ICO marketing itself, but actually where can this project be placed and how can it be used? I look at the budgeting assessments, I look at the database viability and operations. Also, I have a financial modeling proprietary method that I've created that will assess the discounted cash flows and assess the financial viability of the company. Pretty excited about that. The post-ICO perspective, I look at the market penetration using big data analytics and surveys. I help create the operational infrastructure of the company and look at sales strategies to bring mainstream. I also look at a way to use the data from the blockchain to create data intelligence reports to help the startups generate future growth.
So can you explain to me a little bit about what a pre-ICO is and what an ICO is? Sure.
An ICO is an initial coin offering. It's like, I'm sure you've heard of initial public offerings for stocks. Mm-hmm. It's similar. It's the way that startups raise capital and issue tokens to be used on their blockchain. Those tokens hopefully someday gain in value like the Bitcoin tokens have. But they're used to raise capital and to fund the startup's business.
Okay. So what's your business model and why have you designed it the way that you have?
Sure. My offerings are all, one or a few Ether, which is about $300 today. It's really, a lot of companies in the space charge, anywhere from 2 to 4 Bitcoin for an hour. That's to me that I have a lot of international clients who, need my advice and counsel, and I have a very reasonable rate. I'm more interested in helping the startups and the inventors get off the ground and get their projects going, and helping to bring their inventions to my local ecosystem, which is the U.S. and Connecticut.
Okay, so you're trying to bring it more down to a local level.
Yes. I'm trying to bring the inventions and the technology from blockchain, not just used by the large multinational companies in the U.S., but actually used by the mainstream and trying to get cryptocurrency as part of the mainstream economy. Absolutely.
And let me get this straight. So people can pay you in cryptocurrency?
They can pay me in Ether. I'm not charging Bitcoin. I'm starting out with consulting is an Ether. Okay. And some of my more technical abilities, the financial modeling, is a little more.
Okay. So what is your area of expertise as far as blockchain is concerned?
I am on the bookends. So the way that blockchain starts is you start of course, with data proliferation, data storage. I have spent my entire career building databases from scratch. When I was at AIG and Prudential and Ingersoll Rand, I created data sets from many disparate systems into a data repository and created data governance, data quality infrastructure, found ways to extract the data and put it in downstream users' hands. So I've been a database person all my life. So I focus on the data storage, and then you get to the blockchain and Bitcoin. And then after the blockchain and the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, whatever token they're using, you get to operational efficiencies. I'm an operational efficiency expert. They say 90% of the startups fail because they don't have a proper operational plan. I help them, once they get their money, build their business so that it is sustainable.
Okay. So, all right. So you help them not only make them the initial offer, but then make sure that it actually is going to be successful and to make the money in the future.
Yes, I would like all the projects that are really good projects. There are a lot of them, a lot of really great projects out there that could be used in our ecosystem, in our economy, especially in Connecticut, where I live, to build the economy. I mean, Connecticut's the number 50 state as far as economy in the country. I believe in about 5 years we can make it a top 10 by assimilating a lot of these great inventions and products into the local economies.
So, okay, so bring me back to, okay, so the way that the blockchain is set up and the initial offering and all that, and then you handle the operations, how do you know what's a good investment? I mean, there's something about white papers and stuff like that. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, how do you advise somebody that this is a good investment or bad, or, you know what I mean, this is the route to take?
Okay. So, yeah, I've spent about the past few months reading about a couple hundred white papers. Every project has a white paper. Some are more technical than others, but the white papers explain how their project works and how the blockchain works on their project. So with my technology background, I'm able to see if it makes sense or not. The really good projects focus on the technology. So I spent a lot of time looking at them, and I help, if I have any questions, or I help if inventors send their white paper to me, ask me for my advice, I freely give it to them.
Okay, so what are some of the problems that you're facing, or I'm sorry, maybe your clients are facing, and how do you help them with that?
Sure. Some of the problems that my clients are facing, and my friends and colleagues and acquaintances are facing, and the question that I get the most is this investment safe? Can I trust this project? Everybody's asking me about safety. And in the financial markets, you have, equity instruments, you have debt instruments. Mm-hmm. They all have like a risk profile. What's the risk tolerance? What's the risk appetite? What's the reward they would get by taking on a level of risk? Cryptocurrency, it seems that every investment is a high risk, and people want to be assured if it's a wise investment or not. So I assess, and I'm looking to find a way to actually capture the risk appetite and quantify it. As in equity markets, you have Black-Scholes, you have the CAPM pricing models. So I'm helping to look into what kind of pricing model can be created for cryptocurrency, and how can we create a level of risk that's reportable for this asset class, so that we can bring it mainstream into the economy with other asset classes.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely think that is I would think probably one of the hardest struggles, because as a medium, small to medium sized company or a large company, you look at things. Okay, what am I going to get? Where's my ROI? You know what I mean? Or how am I protected? They're always thinking that, and because
Right.
this is so new, there's nothing out there that's really regulating anything. So that's definitely an education that people need to have, and what you're talking about. It definitely makes sense in the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it has to be standardized. You have to apply it to some of the indices out there to see how the cryptocurrency market operates as compared to some of the traditional world indexes. And I'm looking at that right now. The other area is just making sure that when you do when you create a financial statement or pro forma statement, is how do you assess the positive net present value? Because in traditional markets, it's taught only to take on projects that yield a positive return. You don't really know, and right now people are gambling, so there's a lot of euphoria out there. And how do you take the euphoria and actually turn it into a structured ecosystem and structured asset class, or put your arms around it so that you can ensure people that it is safe to invest in.
And they don't feel like they're in Vegas if they're choosing red or black?
What's that?
And they don't feel like they're in Vegas choosing red or black and making the gamble?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Red or black or green. Put all my money on 00. It's not a.
I never did that. I was always a red girl. I couldn't help it. Maybe I'm a redhead, so that might have something to do with it. But
I think once T0 exchange comes on by Overstock.com, they've created an exchange code for T0. Once that exchange is out there, we'll have a lot more public data.
When is that happening?
In the U.S. in the next few months.
Okay, cool. So what do you, as far as industry, what are some of the major challenges that you help solve?
One of them is the financial, how is safety, as we said. The other one is operational efficiency. A lot of companies today are not really efficient. They have done things one way for a long time, and some of those companies have not experienced growth in the past decade. So what the blockchain and my consulting practice does is to help companies create operational efficiencies using the blockchain. The other is, unemployment. We have a 4% unemployment rate in the U.S. We have a 36% rate of people who've been out of work so long they're no longer counted. So that unemployment rate is a result of us here in the U.S. not having the technical skills, technology skills that some other countries have right now. And we're falling a little bit behind. So my goal is by helping to bring cryptocurrency mainstream, helping people gain the skills and abilities in the technology space in order to help the U.S. catch up to some of the other countries that are ahead of us right now and create employment opportunities. The other one is sustainability. 90% of these startups fail within 5 years. My goal is to help them be sustainable entities for the long term. So that means to help them operationalize, to come up with a plan, to be a positive cash flow business, to help them succeed. So those areas, I think, are the ones that I focus on the most.
And what do you think the biggest challenges that you've faced so far?
I have had a tremendously steep learning curve. As I said, I'm an operational efficiency expert. Now, in my new space, I come from the insurance background, but in the cryptocurrency space, I deal a lot with people. And being an operational efficiency expert doesn't work with relationships. So, number one, I've learned to focus on the quality of the relationships that I've had to do that more now in my business than I ever had to do in corporate America. And I deal with global clients. So learning how to navigate the different nuances of culture and business has been a tremendous learning opportunity for me. Building a business. I've built departments from scratch. I built operational departments from scratch. I've created databases from scratch. Now I'm creating a practice from scratch. And the practice is focused on relationships and helping people and learning to take all my skills together and apply them. And then, sifting through who are the major players, who are they actually as people, and, figuring out if some of these projects are legitimate projects or not, and just dealing with some of the greatest, in this space. I've met more geniuses in the past few months than I met in my entire life. I mean, people who are just off the charts geniuses. And I am totally amazed by their skill sets, their abilities. And it's been a pleasure to get to know them. And some of them have created very complex projects that I've had to really buckle down and figure out how they work. And I am totally amazed here.
I love the fact that you are the education that you're getting too, just of how because you've come from an operations background, so you've come from numbers, data, all of that, and now you're adjusting to different personalities, different countries, different cultures, the way people think. And not only that, but you got the trust trigger issue. You've got, and you're in there and you're not only just speaking, but you're educating. And I think that's such a powerful tool.
I love what I do right now. I had stability in corporate America, but I'm having fun now. And I'm learning and growing as a person, and it's been a great ride, I tell you.
I want to go back to operations. What is an example of a project with a strong operations plan for an ICO to complete?
There's one that I'm on the board of, advisory board of. The name of the project is Zaahah, and its utility, what it is it's a way to use cryptocurrency or crypto tokens to help inner city youths living in poverty, to empower them, middle school and high school age kids, to engage in programs after the bell that will raise their education and social standing and help them learn and grow, and so they can build a life not in poverty, but coming out of poverty and gaining the skills and abilities they need to succeed in the future. That company has a great ground presence in Washington State. The entrepreneur who is looking to build it out, globally, it's a real great operational plan that's been in effect and works. That's one example of something that is a great project, and I'm honored that I've had the opportunity to work with them to make a difference. So hopefully that'll be one of the projects that will last longer than the 5 years.
Okay, so how do we create a greater awareness about what is going on and how we could benefit from it? I mean, not just companies, but about the mom and pops and grandma and grandpa who are, or maybe their children who are worried that they're not going to have a retirement. They're
going to have retirement. It's going to be in cryptocurrency. I think the best way to educate people is through education, through courses and partnerships and with universities and with educational institutions and developing goodwill. And I had the opportunity last week to go to an event where Tom Brokaw was a speaker. It was sponsored by Morgan Stanley. And before he spoke, there was a Morgan Stanley economist speaking with a Morgan Stanley trader about the situation, the status of the stock market in the U.S. right now. It's been very, very, very good, very favorable recently. And they said there was one thing that was missing. That one thing that was missing was the euphoria that usually comes with, a stock market rally. We don't see the euphoria in the stock market right now, but cryptocurrency is all euphoria. It is people who are in this industry are excited about what they're doing, what they're bringing to the future. Of course, the price of Bitcoin keeps going up. People are excited about that. There's a real opportunity here and a real underlying economy that if we bring it in alignment with our traditional economy, we can create tremendous opportunities for people, jobs. People can go to retail shops and use their tokens in their wallets, their digital wallets to purchase. It'll be a real game changer if we can bring the cryptocurrency economy in alignment and in harmony with the traditional markets. And I think we can do it.
I love it. I think that's so incredible, and I think that being able to pay without dollars does that mean the dollar is going to go away, or it would be injunction of that, or how does that work?
The dollar's not going to go away.
Okay.
It's a traditional asset class. Fiat currency is widely used by everybody. It'll be a little while before, and if there's anything could be changed basically based on regulation or government, setting standards. So I don't see the dollar here in the U.S. going away. I see an opportunity for banks and projects to be in harmony with one another.
And to have other options for payments.
Yes, and have additional options for payments. And if people learn the technology skills, that will, because eventually everything's headed toward technology.
Yeah.
It is now. It's happening now. And it gives people the opportunity to learn and grow and gain significant skills.
So what do you see the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency and your future as a consultant in the business?
I'm working to bring it mainstream. I'm working to help people make wise investment decisions. I'm helping them help the inventors get their products known. It is a great opportunity to do that. And I'm trying to make that happen. Right now, I'm one person, but it takes one person and to inspire another person, and so forth and so on. And we can work to make it an opportunity for everybody.
Well, you've definitely inspired me. And I love how much passion you have behind it. I think that you have so much talent. And I have one final question for you, which I think is probably the most important. If a small, if a small business, medium, or large business wanted to get a hold of you, or maybe just this person might be just an investor, but if they wanted to get a hold of you to use your services and to bring your talent on board, how would they go about doing that?
My website is www.jamilhasan.com, JamilHasan.com. My offerings and services are on my website, and you can contact me and fill out the contact me page, or email me, or call the number on the site, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Probably immediately, unless I got a huge backlog, which I hope to do someday. I'm committed to making a difference in this space, and happy to work with people.
I love it, and I love everything that you have to offer. First of all, I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and just the wealth of information that you've given about something that most people are not very aware of, and they're not educated. And that's what you're trying to do, is to educate, and not only just to educate anybody. You're trying to bring it to your own community, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys, you just heard from Jamil Hasan. He is an expert consultant in blockchain and cryptocurrency. If you're looking for his information, you can find it here on the show, or you can find it in the show notes. It has been a pleasure to have him on our show. And this is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.